Welcome back. You're just in time to leap out of the ocean with us and whoosh off to our next adventure location, a farm. Whoosh! Due in large part to cities, landfills, and industrial areas, microplastic pollution can be 4 to 23 times higher on land and in freshwater compared to the ocean. This makes sense if you think about it. Plastic is produced on land, where a lot of it is mismanaged when it becomes waste, being littered, or like industrial effluent, just dumped directly into rivers that lead to the ocean. In fact, 70 to 80% of ocean plastic comes from land-based sources. It's now time for us to shrink down once again. Ah, soil. Soils are mixes of silt, nice catch, sand, and clay. Different proportions of these give different soils different properties, like their ability to hold on to water, decompose organic matter, and form aggregates, or clumps. But microplastics, those crafty fragments, can reduce soil quality and increase erosion by changing the properties of the soil. And these changes impact the success of microorganisms who live in the soil, like mycorrhizal fungi and nitrogen-fixing bacteria. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria take nitrogen from the air and turn it into a form plants can use, while mycorrhizal fungi help plants absorb water, mineral, and nutrients from the soil. As vital plant allies, when these organisms suffer, so does plant growth, which can reduce crop yields or the amount of food available for wild animals. Just like seabirds and whales, our land animals can also straight up eat plastic if they find it in the soil, and if this plastic gets stuck in their bellies and makes them think they're full, then they might die of starvation. Things aren't so great at this level, so let's try shrinking down again. Oh, right. I forgot about nanoplastics. This is a nanoplastic, and it is bad news. At less than 1 micrometer, or 0.0001 centimeters, nanoplastics are so small that they can get past cell membranes and cross them and get into where proteins are made and genes are stored on DNA. You know, just the stuff that needs to work correctly to keep living things alive. Once inside a cell, nanoplastics can impact gene expression, cause inflammation and biochemical responses, or lead to cancerous growth. They can even get past highly selective, really secure membranes, like the blood-brain barrier, or into human placenta. We don't know the effects this will have long-term, but when nanoplastics pass the blood-brain barrier in fish, hey, come here. It made their behavior fishy. Yeah, but like in a bad way. It changed their behavior and made it like different or suspicious. Fishy as in it's right. Anyway, changing animal behavior could impact a species long term, like maybe making them unable to reach mating grounds, or possible fetal development issues and reduced reproductive capability and altered gene expression and exposure to micro nanoplastics could seriously alter a species' long-term survival success. Even plant species, who mistakenly transport tiny plastics the same size as pollen into their ovaries where seeds form. And just like pollen and dust, the wind can blow these tiny particles all over the place, transporting them to every ecosystem on Earth. It's time for us to take off. We are now flying over France's Pyrenees Mountains, over 13,000 meters up, away from all humans except a few small villages. And yet, researchers discovered the same amount of plastic particles in the air here as over megacities like Paris and Dongguan in China. Great! Plastic particles have even been found here, in Arctic snow, which is pretty far away from most people. Where are they coming from, you ask? Well, two culprits for airborne plastic particles are plastic production and incineration. Plastics, as we know, start life as oil, natural gas, or coal, and extraction of these materials from the earth causes the release of a lot of pollutants. The processing to turn these materials into plastic releases more pollutants, as does end-of-life incineration, or burning. The pollutants produced could be greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide, or toxic pollutants like dioxins and acid gases and heavy metals. Though plastic processing plants have ways to deal with these pollutants, when plastics in garbage piles spontaneously combust, as happen often, these pollutants head straight into the atmosphere. Not good. Or they can head into human tissues, like lungs, as studies early as the 1990s showed the presence of plastic fibers in human lung tissues, which just hang out for years and years because our bodies can't break them down. This is really not good. Let's leave this place and grow back to normal size, shall we? So, plastic pollution affects the air, the land, and the water, drifts to all corners of the earth even if humans aren't nearby, and impacts living things in ways we're just beginning to understand. How did we get here? No, not you and me specifically, Puppet. Clearly we used magic. But us in general as people. Where did this plastic problem begin? We'll answer that in our next adventure to the past.